G'day champions, how's it all going today? It is Frosty Mate back with another guide. Wait, I've never done a guide before, that doesn't make any sense. Well, apparently I did make a guide, but it was over on my other YouTube channel, and it wasn't actually a guide, it was actually a speedrun on Ravine Impoppable that just so happened to get the world record. I had a few comments asking, is this a tutorial? How do we do this? So I figured, hey, how's about we actually make a proper Ravine Impoppable tutorial so that people can follow along. Quick little thing to note, monkey knowledge a little bit important on this one. The most important ones, you know, being road spikes, extra money, free dart monkey, that sort of thing. So make sure you've got those down before you're attending this. And I mean, most importantly, make sure you've got Benjamin and yourself in the seat there as well. Alright, let's go ahead, select Ravine Impoppable right there. Let's put in a little bit of practice before we start the run here. So, things to note about Ravine. Two pathways here, we're going to take them one at a time. And we're going to put our dart monkey, our free dart monkey, right at the start there. We'll clear everything off, as well as a nice boomerang up in the trees here. Now I should say placement, not necessarily the most important thing here, but in terms of the sniper placement here is probably the most important. Try to get it so that there's a little bit of a spotlight with the red sight lines here, right on this dart monkey, and about as back and close towards the trees as you possibly can, just like such. And then you're going to leave everything on first and press play. Now, general strategy behind this one here is going to be just trying to go for a Druid of the Jungle and then making our way through Benjamin after all of that there. So for round number 7, we don't have any defense on the right side. Should probably fix that then, shouldn't we? Put a boomerang monkey up on this corner here, leave it on close and swap the hands, press play, and you'll see that it is more than capable alongside the sniper monkey of clearing everything else up. So in terms of strategy, we're not going to use our speedrun strategy that we use over on the other channel there, simply because that one's a little inconsistent. You know, it is reliant on a few different things, especially going fast. So we're going to modify it slightly for what we're doing here today. And what we're going to do is we're going to put down a sniper down in this back corner here. This back corner, I mean this middle corner. I'm going to put it on strong, right next to the sword, and press play. Now, funnily enough, this is all that you need. You don't need any more defense, and we're going to go straight up and towards Benjamin. Now, because we don't get any more defense, the mid-10s, they're going to get a little bit shaky here or there. So make sure to just follow along, and the most important thing throughout this all is keeping your road spike pile safe. Because as you'll see, it can sometimes get a little bit dire here or there. So make sure that you try to protect it by all means. You know, if you don't have a good round, you can go back and you can try to redo it, but more often than not, you're going to be alright, especially with the extra modifications that we've gone through here, because turns out in some of my practice runs here, even though my speed run, I made it really consistent that I was able to do it time and time again, here in the practice runs, going through it slow, I was dying more than I would care to admit. So I've had to modify it here slightly to make sure that most of the inconsistencies have already been taken care of. So on round 14, we're going to be just putting down Benjamin in the top left corner over here. Again, this is where some of the leaks start to become very apparent, but even if that is the case, don't feel alarmed. It's alright to take a bit of damage here on round 14 and 15. It's pretty much inevitable. It can't really be helped all too often. But again, just try your best. If you can manage to save as much spike life as you can, that's really good. Now on round 15, we're going to put down another boomerang on this right side, just in the middle of the two crevices here. You're going to leave this one on last for the next few rounds. And then we're going to put this bottom sniper on strong, just to be able to again preserve our spike life. More often than not, as you'll see, some of the pinks start to come down through here. And this bottom spike pile is the one that you're trying to look to protect. You can swap it, do a little bit of fancy micro here or there, what have you. So it's these 3 spike piles you're trying to preserve. Now, round 16 is a little bit of a problem. So what we're going to do is at 2 seconds, so we're going to count it out, 1 then 2. We got 2 seconds, we're going to put down Biohack. When you put down Biohack, it's going to make it so that every monkey in the vicinity pops that little bit extra. And what we're trying to afford here is we're trying to get a druid in this corner here where the two paths converge. So as I show you an example here, 1, 2, hit Biohack. You don't want to wait too long on Biohack either, because if you end up waiting, things start to look a little bit shaky. Now what we're going to do is in the middle of the round here, we're going to leave our Sniper Monkey on first, and then we're going to swap it over to close as the round ends. There we go. On round 17, don't need to do anything, but I would recommend playing it in slow mode here, simply so that you can follow along with everything that's about to go down, because things are about to go down. AKA these two boomerang monkeys in the top corner here. They're gone. They're down. We're going to upgrade our bottom druid here into a O2O. So we're going to get Thorn Swarm, then Heart of Oak. Now we would usually buy up a Druid of the Jungle here, but we don't have enough money quite yet. But here's the thing, due to the way that some of the Vine's AI targeting works, it'll always target strongest. And if you try to buy it as soon as you've got all the money there, it's going to end up targeting the left side and you're going to die on the right side here. So you're going to want to look for a particular visual cue. So as I start the round here, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a surplus of balloons to start going down the right side. So about now-ish. Now is about good. And as you'll see there, the vines will start to target down the right side here, which is exactly what we want. Just like that. Beautiful stuff. And as you do so, it'll work out a treat for you. The closer that the vines get towards everything, the better. Now, for round number 19, we didn't really want to have to get rid of our sniper there, so we're going to get our sniper back again. Don't worry about the lost money. It's expendable sort of stuff. We're going to get a strong sniper just for round number 19, just to be able to help out. Now, what the run really relies on here is, funnily enough, the druid's reload timing with vines, and that's what makes sometimes it feel a little bit inconsistent, is sometimes your druid reloads on the vines, they'll be a little bit later than some of your other attempts. So for example, on round number 20 here, it would actually be that your druid's reload vines have come up straight away here, but sometimes they won't. But for this round, what we're going to do here is we're just going to leave it be. We're going to save up a little bit more. Because as you'll see, the druid holds on to this side perfectly fine. A sniper on close here will help us really well. And what we're going to do is we're going to save up for a spike pile here. Now, if you've left enough space in the bottom crevice here, you should find that there is just barely enough space for you to fit a spike. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put a spike pile down here, and we're just going to help out with some of our trickier rounds, because they do get quite tricky. Now, I'd say the only problem here is with round number 22. Now, because of the way that round 22 ends up working, you don't actually want to get long reach quite yet, because you want all the spikes to be at least somewhat close here, because even if they end up getting placed down here, it's more often than not going to get better for you. You don't want spikes to happen up here. That's really bad. So, if things end up going badly for you for this bottom spike pile or this top one over here, feel free to quit out, come back in, try it again. But as I'll show you, more often than not, even just one spike pile down there is going to be more than enough to try to help you out for some of these rounds here. Just look at that. Not even a problem. So what we will do now is with this bottom spike, we will end up getting it up into a smart spikes there and put it on spire so that it can end up targeting down the rest of the rounds. Now, with all this said and done, you should be good. You should be good. Everything here will have a little bit of extra defense with it, and the spikes, they'll end up doing God's work. That's what we'll show you here. We'll end up playing out the round here. We don't even need to get any camo defense there. Look at that. All sorted for us. Bob's your uncle, eh? Now what we will do is for round number 25, since we are all well and good here, we can just end up chilling for a little bit. We don't really need to end up doing anything extra here. Your spike pile will end up taking care of most things, and even if some cheeky balloons do end up making it down here, you'll be more than fine. The vines will end up sticking around for just long enough so that even some of the stronger balloons that you'll end up facing won't end up getting through at all. druid reload timing. So for round number 26, if you've got a farmer, what you can do is you can put it right next to your sniper here. It's going to get all buddy chump with them, and then you're going to put a farm right next to that there. If not, just fit in your farm just around this area as well. Should be all well and good. And we're just going to leave this farm as is for the time being here. We're not going to do anything extra to it. We're just going to keep it that way because we just want to get that little bit of extra money here for round number 27 so that everything is all well and sorted. So for round number 27 here, usually it's going to be fine more often than not, but we do need a little bit of extra defense for the later rounds. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a druid up in this corner over here, and we're going to upgrade that to a thorn sword. And then you guessed it, we're going to end up upgrading it even more later on. So we're going to speed through this here. As you'll see, the druid vines make this round trivial. Look at that. Now, since we are a little bit off of hitting our money power spike here, we are going to need some extra assistance. So we're going to end up getting our druid up into a full metal jacket there. Oh, not a druid, a sniper druid. And we're just going to play out the rest of this round here. The reason for this is that sometimes, even though we've got the druid helping us out with lead popping there, it's not always that consistent. So we just really want to prioritize trying to get it up. Now, if you're a little bit scared about everything, you don't need to get this farm down. You can just end up getting a druid of the jungle first. It won't end up making too much of a difference here or there, but sometimes the extra defense can go at that little bit of an extra distance just to make you keep yourself at ease, you know? So, on round 29, we'll be able to afford a druid of the jungle here. I'm pretty sure you can also greed out a farm, but it's a little bit inconsistent. And hey, you know what? Those extra $300 we've earned, hey, that might go a long way. So, from this point on, with 2 druids down, you're well and truly good at this point. You don't really need anything extra from here on out, so all we're going to end up doing is we're just going to upgrade to an increased production when we can, and then we're going to upgrade it once again to a greater production. There we go. As you'll see, we end up earning a ton of money here. Now, there is a little bit of a problem that you're going to end up facing here is because we've got our right side all ended up and sorted here. Turns out for 33, we do need just a little something more. You know, we can't just end up letting this go all free. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to get our top sniper here up into a shrapnel shot. And this is going to allow us to deal with all of those pesky camo balloons here really well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to play out the round, just let it happen, and as you'll see, a lot of the spikes end up getting dealt with there really easy. So 34, what we're going to do is we're just going to press play. We are going to end up getting another farm down up in this top corner here. We're going to upgrade this one to increased production, but we're not going to upgrade it up into a greater production quite yet, because it turns out we actually need a little bit more money. Things do get a little bit shaky here on 36. But you know what? I'll show you what happens if you do get great production. I'm pretty sure you're okay. I'm pretty sure. Again, it's one of those safety things. It's not going to end up making or breaking the run here, but you will need to get this bottom sniper changed to first. This changed up here, up into camo targeting, and then you're going to get shrapnel shot down here as well and change it to camo targeting as well. Again, this is just to make sure that the camos that happen on this wave here end up getting caught, because you've got 3 out of 4 waves covered camo wise, but you don't have this last bottom one covered. Now what we're going to do on round 36 is immediately as soon as the round starts, we're going to end up pressing our good old handy dandy biohack again, because the vines reload timing can be a little bit shaky. So here, I'll give you an example. So as soon as the round starts, they'll end up getting eaten up. Sometimes, however, they will not end up getting eaten up here or there, simply because the druid's reload timing. So you just want to make sure that you've got a little bit of a backup, just in case. And as you'll see, look at that. Even though we had our spikes slightly dented, we still end up just fine. So for round 37, again, past this point here, we've got a few extra spikes down. We're all well and good. So we're going to sell off our top dart, and we're actually going to end up getting a cannon. That's right, we're going to end up getting a cannon just to be able to help out with some Moab DPS for round number 39. Again, you can just play out the rest of this round here. We've got enough coverage for pretty much everything, so we can just afford to, well, just let it take the reins. Now, for this round here, what you can end up doing is, if you're feeling a little bit bold, a little bit ambitious, you can end up just, well, keeping it as a Moab Mauler, but I wouldn't really recommend that. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up getting our Moab Assassin down instead. And then we're going to end up just sniping off this handy dandy Moab as soon as it comes out. Now, for round number 40, what you can do is you're going to put down another Druid up in this top corner here. And then we're going to upgrade that. Now, as you'll note, we don't actually have the money for Druid the Jungle, but alas, this is where everything comes in. We're actually going to sell off our Sniper here. I'm going to get a Druid of the Jungle here, and this is going to help us just stay alive for that bit longer. So, here's what you want to do on 40. You want to wait for a Ben Trojan to come along. You know, it'll usually end up getting all glitchy as such, but I'll show you here just nice and casually. Ideally, you don't want this to pop right away until the Ben Trojan comes down. We're going to sell off this here, and what we're going to do is we're going to get down a village just in this corner here. And then we're going to upgrade this up into a grow blocker, and we're going to leave it as is there. We're actually going to get this bottom farm here. We're going to get this up to a valuable bananas, and then we're going to start saving up a little bit. Now, usually you can greed it just that little bit more, you know, usually you can get your farm first and then get your village up later on, but for the sake of playing it really safe in this run, we're just going to end up doing this here. I'm just going to show you the 100%, you guarantee, there's no way that you'll end up dying with this strategy here. I've even trademarked it. That's how likely you are to not die. It's trademarked, you can't die, right? So what we're gonna do is, just to make sure that we don't end up dying here, nice and simple, all we're gonna do is we're just gonna put down, you guessed it, another Druid. Now, if your placements are, if you're feeling a little bit unsure with your placements here, you can end up just using one here and then get, you know, bigger radius and everything. But if you're feeling a little bit ambitious, you can end up getting monkey business. I'm going to play it the safe way today. We're going to show you how to just use it with one Druid. You want to put this Druid on the right side as well, because bottom path here can end up getting a little bit overwhelmed, especially on the 40s. So what we're going to do, just buy a bad Druid there, and there is more than likely no way that you should end up dying here. 3 Druids, especially all with camo, dealing with all these rainbows. Look at that. Not even remotely close. We're going to end up selling off our Sniper now. It served its purpose. And then we're just going to save up for this monkey bank here. Beautiful stuff. And this is exactly why as well that we've got our spike pile. 36 can end up being, or 43 I should say, 36. 43. My problem rounds are getting all mixed up. 43 can end up being a little bit of a doozy here or there, so getting your bottom spike pile is one of those things that you can do to try to prevent that from happening. Now 44 with 4 Druids up, it's no problem. Look at that. As soon as the vines come up here, they're all good, so we're going to get another farm down. Now if you've placed your farmer all well and good here, you should be able to fit a 3rd farm in the range. Look at that. And then you're just going to upgrade that one as well. Gee, Davey, seems like this is going a little bit too well. Well, things, again, alas, I'm unfortunately having to remind you here, things won't always be this simple. So, for round number 46 I should say, guess what we're gonna do? You guessed it. we're going to put it in the square hole. We're going to get another druid. Another one. Another one. That's right, another druid. You guessed it. And as you see, look, the more druids you end up getting here, the less likely you are to die. So for 46 again, because we have so many druids, turns out we've got enough to pretty much grab all of them consistently. How about that, huh? And as you'll note here, I've gotten, you guessed it, a 6th druid! Who would have thought druids are just that good? Whoa! But there's a reason why we get our 6th druid here, is because this round again, if we have enough to consistently grab everything that's going on here, turns out that the leakage that happens, well, it just doesn't. Especially with this setup. So, at this point, now we've got all of our Moab defense, we've got a farm set up, we've got pretty much everything that we could possibly need. So what we're going to do is we're going to start setting up some Moab defense. Now, there's a few different ways of going about this, but on a map like Ravine here, you more than likely want to focus on trying to get some aerial defense more often than not. So what we're going to do is, at this point, we're going to buy a monkey business. We're going to buy up a 2nd village. We're going to put it over in this corner here. We're going to buy up, you guessed it, some monkey commerce. Now, since both of them are nice and discounted, we're just going to up the speed a little bit. Now what we're going to do with these here is we're actually going to get it, you guessed it, a never miss here. Now never miss is going to end up helping us out in terms of mob clear and also some ceramic cleanup as well. So we're going to end up upgrading the bottom path here, and we're just going to play out that rest of the round. Now upgrade this to never miss. Now with your pathing here, what you want to end up doing is you want to end up putting the sanded path down in the bottom left corner around the shield area here. Just like that. Now, because of the way that these rounds work out, the money can get a little bit particular. So what we want is we want to make it so that this second plane that we're going to get here is just both in range of everything that we've got. We want to get that double discount. We're going to get a fighter plane with this one, and we're going to upgrade our good old never miss here into a rapid fire, then lots more darts, and then with the leftover money here, we're just going to sit and chill because we can't afford anything extra. Now we're going to slowly play this one out. Again, the Ben Trojan will more than likely end up helping you out here, but you'll see that we've got enough money to get through that now. Now with the rest of your money here, since we don't have any defense on this side, you're going to end up just buying up a casual spike machine when you've got enough money for it. So just going to plop that down just right next to your farms there. And then, well, I don't really see you dying anytime soon. But as you'll note, Ben Trojan does come in very handy, especially for some of these mid-rounds here, because they can get a little bit tight. But with this said and done now, guess what? We're coasting. We're all good now. That's right. That's right, we don't need to worry about anything at all. We're in fact perfectly fine. So what we're going to do is now it's time to start the massive save up. We're going to put down our druid here. We're going to get it upgraded. And we're going to get it up to a perishing potions there as well. Because, guess what? We've got everything all well and saved up. We have enough defense to take care of pretty much anything that we could run into. Bob's your uncle, all well and good there. So, again, just as the slightest, the tiniest precaution here, all you're going to have to do is just upgrade this bottom spike and then put it on smart. With this said and done, there should be pretty much no way that you should end up dying here after you end up getting the strongest stimulant down. Gee, there seems to be a lot of that. There should be no dying, but no, really, you're going to be all well and good, trust me. Because the druids do such a really good job. So even if you end up popping the Moab layer, and this is why we keep the druids around, even if you end up popping the Moab layer here, the druids will end up cleaning up the insides, even if there is no Trojan activated on your handy-dandy Moabs. So, in reality, you really haven't got much to worry about. Now, around 54, collect up your money, buy up 2 more bangs. That's right, we're greeding even further! We're getting even more money! And then we're going to upgrade to a stronger stimulant on our 2 planes here. Now, from this point on, like, I was joking a little bit before when I said this, but yeah, now it is very, very, very hard to end up losing from these situations, as you'll see. We just have so much clear at this point. We have enough Moab damage. We're all well and good. So much so that we're actually going to end up buying an Operation Dartstorm just to clear up that little bit of a weakness on round 56 here. And then you should pretty much never be dying. Good. So, with all of that said, we're going to upgrade to Sharper Darts, Centered Path, and now we're just going to chill. That's right. We're chilling now. We're all good. Problems, they've been dealt with. They've all been solved. We should have no worries, so all we're going to do here is we're just going to speed it up. And would you look at that? Bob's your uncle. Now 59 here usually would be a little bit of a problem round, but due to the fact that we have druids down, we actually have a really simple method of dealing with all of this here. Because druids, they can see the camo leads, and they can pop the leads. Wow, how about that? All of our problems suddenly all just dealt with, just like that. Now, for round number 60, you are going to want to use Ben's Siphon ability. So Ben's level 10, we haven't really gone through this quite yet, but is going to downgrade this BFB into a Moab for the start of this round. So if you do end up getting this, I'm pretty sure you will be all set. And by pretty sure, I mean you will be set. If not, you're probably going to want to end up upgrading this bottom spike pile here up into a bigger stacks, white hot stacks, and then spike balls. Now with that, you're all well and good. Here, we'll play out the rest of the round. I'm going to play it out just to show you that even though things get a little bit dicey here or there, that you've still got options on dealing with a BFB even without perfect timing and such. And as you'll see, even with that, even with all of that, the spike balls didn't even need it. And guess what? Now we just get to press play again. The Druid army, we've already starting to accrue a ton of money. It's coming up Millhouse at this point. Now, round 63 is where things, admittedly, start to go a little bit AWOL. So, here's what we're going to end up doing. We've got a few different options here, but here's the simplest one. We're going to end up collecting one of our banks. Boom. We're going to end up buying up spiked mines here. Boom. And then, down in this bottom corner here, just so that it's barely in range of the spike pile, we're going to end up getting Berserker Brew when it comes up. So we're going to have to save up a little bit first. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to press play on the round, and then we're immediately going to press Siphon. So as I'll show you right here, press play, immediately press Siphon. And this is going to allow us just enough time to build up our spike pile. See, all well and done there. Now, we have really good clear with 6 druids, but it's more than likely not going to be enough even with a never miss to help out. So, as you'll see, the spike mines here are just a necessary precaution. See, even though we've got a ton of damage there, we're just making sure. Again, get a Berserker Brew, and then your right side officially dealt with. All that's left is this left side here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to upgrade this to a bigger stacks, white hot spikes, and Bob's your uncle. So here, for 64, just press play. You should be all well and good, but sometimes it can end up getting a little bit doozy. A little bit of a doozy on this side here, especially with the fortified Moabs, which is why we have the good old spike mines down here just to help out. Now, if things don't go according to plan there again, probably want to quit out, come back in, retry it again, just so that you can get everything that you need to get. But we're one round away from cashing out our 2 banks here, so we're just going to play through 65. Again, this bottom side dealt with. Don't need to worry about that, so we just get to chill for a little bit now. In fact, we get to chill so much that we get to get bigger raiders, jungle jumps, on this top bit here, and we will encounter no problems. Look at that, all well and good. So we collect on both of your banks. Not that one. You want to save that one. You're going to end up getting a spike balls on this bottom pile here. Again, just to make sure, necessary precaution. And what you're actually going to do now is we get to have a little bit of fun. We get to get into a monkey town now on these good old handy dandy units over here. And this is going to make it so that we actually end up getting a lot more money. Now, if you really wanted to push it a little bit further, you can get Monkey City, but that's a little bit much, you know? So we're not going to do that. But instead, again, we should be fine for these next few rounds here. What we can actually do is just, in this bottom corner here, we can just put down, you guessed it, you know it, another farm. Since we're going to be waiting for another big power spike for a fair while, we can just afford to chill out. And since we got our bottom pile taken care of here, we have more than enough damage to deal with any problem rounds that can come through, especially in terms of Moab damage. So now, we're just going to speed up. We're going to just speed through these next few rounds here. There are optional abilities. I will tell you when to use them. One of them is coming up next round on round 68. So we're going to press play on round 68, and then we're immediately going to siphon again, just like this. Ready? Bam. Siphon. Even if you don't catch those Moabs, you're more caring about the BFB. Pardon me. More caring about the BFB that comes through there. And now we're good. And now we just get to chill for a little while. So we're just going to scoop it right ahead, straight to our next power point here, which is going to be the almighty Spectre. That's right, we're going for a Spectre next, and that's going to help out massively with our Moab damage as well, and our ceramic cleanup. I have tried going for this strategy without a Spectre, but it ends up being a little shaky. So again, for round 72 here, you can end up pressing ability. I would highly suggest you in fact press ability for round 72. I got a little bit lucky there. Sometimes the Moabs end up going on the left side first, or the BFB goes on the left side first. But in this instance here, looks like we were just fine. Don't forget to collect your banana farms as you get them as well. So upgrade that there. And then as soon as you have the money for Spectre on round 74, there we go, we're all good now. Now, in terms of ability timings, we are coming up to a really critical one on 75 here, and this one is very important to hit. So there is a specific timing on round 75. It is the third BFB wave. Usually you can deal with the first two really well, but the third BFB wave, especially if you siphon at the right time, will carry it over into round 76, and that's really critical for us here. So as you'll see, we'll just double check our money. No spare money here. So, the first BFB will come through. That's easily dealt with. Get out of here, fella. Get on out of here. Now, the second wave is perhaps the most scary one. We've got spiked mines for that there. Again, just as a precaution. Now, after this fortified comes through here, you want to press siphon right there. And that's going to allow 3 Moabs to come through, but we'll still have our siphon active. So as round 76 starts to play now, we don't need to worry about anything. Now we're going to collect up all of that money that we've earned here, and we're a little bit far away. We're just a little bit far away from Sky Shredder, but that's what these next few rounds are for. Sky Shredder, next big target. That is our goal. So what we're going to do is, as soon as we got that money, that's what we're going to press. Now, for round 78, again, the timing, it can be a little bit scary here, but I want you to trust me when I say it's not that difficult. what you're going to do is at the start of round 78 here, you're going to end up pressing Siphon. Just straight away. Siphon will last long enough, and it should get you the money for Sky Shredder. There we go. Ta-da! It's just that easy. It is just that easy. And I do mean that. When you get to this point of the game here with a Spectre, look, I'm not even going to ability the last wave of 78 here. It's all going to get dealt with our massive air support. We've already got enough money income. But you could always go for a little bit more. You can always go for just one more farm at this point here. Unfortunately, you can't get in range of any of this here simply because of the way that things are placed. However, there's always placements over here that you can end up doing just like such. So when you have the money, just upgrade it into a monkey bank there. Try not to get distracted by your spiked mines down here. They look like bananas, I could have sworn, officer. And past this point, abilities, you don't really need to use them as much as you may think. So we're just going to chill for a little bit, and all we're really going to do is just check our money every now and again just to make sure we're raking in Bezos bucks. Banks end up paying themselves off really well, and that's the main reason why we end up using them a lot. Even though, you know, they take a really long time. This one's going to get popped off in the 70s here, or the 90s I should say. 70s, 90s, same dealio. But there is one thing that we are missing at this point, and we are missing some overclocks to help out. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our engineer just pretty much in the range of most of the discounts. Don't, however, put it on this bottom aisle down here, because you want to prioritize your two planes ending up getting your Berserker Brew buff, your Strongest Stimulant buff, more than this engineer. It doesn't need it. But what you're going to do is you're going to get overclock, and you're going to put the cleansing foam just pretty much as close towards the middle of the track there. Now what you're going to do with your overclock, as I'll show you here, is you're going to put it on your Sky Shredder. And this is important because with the Sky Shredder, I know some of these ceramics are looking a little bit meh, but as soon as you end up overclocking, ceramics be no more. They are officially goners at this point. Spectre ends up being a little bit Papega every now and again. So this is why it's important to have these extra druids alongside of it here and to get this extra support. Now, unfortunately for us, one overclock is not enough. So we don't really have the money to be able to get another one quite yet, but we will build up to it. We'll get our cleansing foam on this side here as well, just to be able to help out with some of the camo. And then a second overclock is going to be our priority target. Just to be able to help out with everything that's going on. So as soon as you've got overclock up, well, I suggest using it on your Sky Shredder here, because what's going to happen in here, if I can English correctly, is you're going to use overclock, and then you're going to use another overclock when that overclock runs out. So you don't want to use overclock straight away. So what you're looking for is the green spinny lines here. Those are still on. That means your overclock is still a go-go. Collect your money. Again, just make sure, take your time in between the rounds here a little bit more than I am. And then you're going to wait. You're going to press overclock again. Look, it's run out there. And look, the rounds aren't even close. Now what we're going to do is just, again, as a little bit of a precaution, we're going to get spiked mines down here. And we're also going to get another Berserker Brew on this one. And this should be, at this point, more than enough to deal with anything. So spinning lines are still a go-go. So we're still a go-go. And just every single time it runs out, press overclock there, and you'll all be good. Now you can press abilities for these rounds, but usually you can just save abilities for your even side rounds, because these are the scary ones. These are the ones you want to be aware of that are happening. These are the scary ones right here. These are the reasons why we've got this spike mines in particular. So again, our overclock has run out. We press overclock again. Now what we're saving for is, well, what we're saving for may seem like it's a little bit of greed, but let me tell you when I say that when you get a flying fortress, a lot of your problems seem to become a lot easier, that's for sure. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna collect up top here. We can save a little bit of money this way. Just make sure your overclock is all well and good for around 90. DDTs, hardly even newer. And the druids again, they play a nice little role here in just being able to help out in cleaning up some of the more problematic ceramics. As you'll note, our spike mines, 6 pops, 800 pops, they haven't really been doing a ton. But again, it's more just safety because some of these fortified ceramics do end up coming really close there and our spike piles are not going to be able to deal with that. So just having this here does end up helping out a ton. So for 72, again, I'd probably suggest pressing ability just to be able to deal with some of the ZOMGs that come out there. But at the end of 72, what you're going to end up doing, collect all, get your flying fortress. Now we're going to transfer our priority of our overclocks over onto our flying fortress here because it ends up dealing more damage than the Sky Shredder does. So, going to overclock it here. And as you'll see, there are supposed to be DDTs on this round. You'll just not end up going to see them, that's all. And then we get to win the game. That's it. Congratulations, team, you've won. Get Monkey Intelligence Bureau. And as long as you keep pressing these overclocks here, you're all good. So that's all we're going to do. We're just going to smooth sail our way to victory at this point. And we are just well and truly done. Benjamin hit maximum level. We're pressing overclocks left and right. From this point, I'm just going to take it away. You know what? For around 100, you can go so far as to get not 1, not 2, but 3 first strikes. But, I mean, you remember me talking about how spike mines can end up saving you sometimes? Even with a flying fortress here, even with everything. A good old fortified ceramic came down here, and without this, we would have died. So, ends up helping out more than you'd think. You can end up selling off your farms at this point. We don't need them, but you can end up getting some first strikes for the next few rounds. Again, unimportant. Just make sure you end up getting your overclocks down in the appropriate amount of time. See, look at that. It's destruction. We're raining hell upon the balloons at this point. We don't really need to be doing all of this here. Heck, you don't even need this third first strike at this point. But what we will do is just to send it off here, overclock, give them hell, soldier. Heck, I'll even buy up the last first strike here, and that is a banana farm. That is a 301 banana farm. But that is also Ravine Impoppable done there. So if you've got any questions, feel free to plop them down in the chat below. This has been another Frosty guide. Well, not another Frosty guide, but it is a guide here. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Take it easy.